It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of November 8th, 1996. Another one of those weeks where we were supposed to look at 5 movies, but I literally can't find anything on Breathing Room. I looked online, I looked on YouTube. The only thing I found in there was a movie that was not even close to this movie, a 2008 horror film, so if I can't find anything, I just can't do anything with it, so that cuts us down to about 4 movies to look at, and we're going to start off with, of course, with the biggest new release of the weekend, and that is Mel Gibson starring in Ransom, directed by Ron Howard.
I came from fairly humble beginnings from upstate New York. I'd never even been on an airplane before. In 1971, I threw everything I owned into a charter service.
In a world where great risks can bring extraordinary rewards.
We've grown 37 countries worldwide.
The most important thing to me these days, family. Mine, yours.
Tom Mullen has succeeded.
So shy. Next month he's doing the underwear billboard in Times Square. Ow!
Beyond his wildest dreams.
I have your son. Give me $2 million, or you'll never see him again.
Sean!
Your only priority is getting your boy back. Has the some sign that he's alive? Is he indoors? Is he outdoors? What's that?
How many kidnappings have you worked before?
10. Got back 7.
What went wrong?
If I were a betting man, I would bet on the people who pay.
Did you bet on the ones where you got back a corpse?
Hello? They had him right where they wanted.
Yeah, he hung up.
You don't know where he is. You don't know him. He is. You're the FBI and you don't know. Get him!
Until he did.
Is our son dead?
Don't ever think that. What they never expected.
Been on your TV, Channel 5. Keep watching.
Tom, you're on.
The whole world now knows my son was kidnapped. Sean, if you're watching, we love you. This is what waits for the man who took him. This is your ransom. This is as close as you'll ever get to it. Instead, I'm offering this money as a reward on your head.
Take it back.
No.
Tell him that you were wrong.
You think I don't want him back? You think I wouldn't do absolutely everything to get him back? Sean?
I want to listen.
Mel Gibson. If I don't get my son back, I ain't gonna dedicate my life to tracking you down.
We have an eye on him. White male, armed with a handgun.
Rene Russo.
Who got shot?
Gary Sinise. Delroy Lindo.
Everybody, hold your fire!
You still have a chance to do the right thing. If you don't, let God be with you, because nobody else on this earth will be.
I want to talk.
You kill him! You kill yourself!
Hello?
Give me back my son!
I guess in some parallel universe, you could also say that this is Riggs and Lorna in a spin-off of Lethal Weapon. I mean, it's literally Mel Gibson and Rene Russo starring as the couple in this movie, so you could probably make that work out in some way, shape, or form. But I digress. This is, of course, Ransom. This is directed by Ron Howard. This is also written by Richard Price. It stars Mel Gibson and Rene Russo. It's based off of a remake of a film from the 1950s called Ransom, which starred Glenn Ford, Donna Reed, and Leslie Nielsen, and was actually based on an original story from a show called the United States Steel Hour called Fearful Decision. And this is a film that most people saw as a kind of an original release. Nobody really knew that this was actually a remake, or at least I thought that I would think that they wouldn't have thought it was a remake back then. But I'm just dishing out some stuff here. But let's talk about the movie itself here. Ransom. It's an okay movie. It's nothing too spectacular. It's nothing too amazing. I think one of the strongest things about it is Mel Gibson giving this really good, strong performance in here. I think he really is delivering a really solid performance overall. Even though it does get a little bit too corny at times, and let's be honest, that scene where he's screaming on the phone, "Give me back my son," should be more intense and more emotionally impacted is by you, the viewer. But honestly, in the years since then, it's been memed to death. In fact, somebody actually did a remake of that scene in particular, and once you see it, it's really hard to take this scene seriously at all.
Give me the money, you motherfucker! Give me back my son! Son! Give me back my son! My son! Son! Give me back my son! Son! My son! Son! Give me back my son! Give me the money! My son! Son! Give me back my son! My son! Son! Give me back my son! Son! My son! Money! Give me back my son! Give me the money! Give me back! 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 Give me back my son! Give me back my son! My son! Son! Give me the money! Give me
See what I mean? You're never going to be able to watch that scene again with any serious face after you watch that remix right there. But overall, the movie is very good. It's nothing too spectacular, but it's not a bad movie either. I think the performances are very good. I think the story is very good too. Like, I like that Mel Gibson is basically going on TV and saying, here's the money that you want me to give you, but you know what, instead of you getting it, I'm going to make it so that everyone can come after you. And it's just like, that's a really interesting concept here. And like I said, I think it works pretty well here. Like I said, not a great movie overall, but it is still an enjoyable film. I do recommend checking it out. It's if you like Ron Howard's stronger works, this definitely takes the cake there. I think it definitely delivers on this particular note. Like I said, not a great film overall, but I still really enjoyed it. I think it is a good enough film to recommend. So that's Ransom. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is F. Gary Gray's Set It Off with Queen Latifah and Jada Pinkett.
We need to rob a bank.
Let's do it.
On November 6th.
Don't make me get ugly up in here, ladies and gentlemen.
Y'all can't be serious. 4 friends will set
Don't move.
it off.
Come on, Ricky.
Set it off.
Are we gonna get away with this? Yes.
Rated R. Starts Wednesday, November 6th.
Also in the cast, but they're not listed in that credit reel you saw there, Vivica A. Fox, and this is actually the feature film debut for Kimberly Elise, who we've seen in a number of movies. And you basically follow 4 friends who decide to execute a bank robbery, and it's a pretty intense movie. It's actually a much better movie than I think a lot of people give it credit for. This is F. Gary Gray's follow-up to Friday, which was the film that kind of launched him into the public zeitgeist, and this is a really good film. These performances by Pinkett, Latifah, Vivica Fox, and Kim Elise, they all work really well here, and John C. McGinley is also in here, as well as Blair Underwood. There is a lot of really good performances all throughout the movie, and the intensity of this movie is surprisingly strong. It's a really good movie that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Are these people going to be able to pull this off, or are they not? And you really do get invested in what's going on here. And the chemistry between all 4 of them works very well here. I think this does a very good job taking a story that we've seen done over and over again and gives it a unique spin that really is very different and unusual compared to what we're used to seeing. It's a really good movie. I don't think a lot of people really remember it as that great of a film, but I highly recommend checking it out. If you want to see some of the best works by F. Gary Gray, this definitely is one of his stronger works, and it's a good follow-up to his movie Friday. I can't recommend this movie enough. Set It Off is a really damn good movie. So, we talked about some good stuff here. Let's go ahead and talk about a terrible movie, and that is, of course, Hulk Hogan in Santa with Muscles.
In the season of Santa, there are 2 kinds of people. The naughty and the nice.
I got $50 for the first elf that brings me Santa Claus.
Hulk Hogan is Blake Thorne, and he's definitely naughty. To make his getaway, he's going to make a mockery of the world's most beloved hero.
Do you have a minute?
Fox me, you little brat.
That's him.
But sometimes, the only way you can feel the spirit of Christmas
Where'd he go?
is to be hit over the head with it. Santa!
What? It's showtime.
Now, this confused bad boy is Santa, like you've never seen him before.
Yep. Somebody really thought that this would work in theaters. It was released for 2 weeks, which I highly doubt that was seriously what they were intending to go with. I think they have a good idea that this was going to play during the holiday season, but sadly it did not. It only lasted 2 weeks. It didn't even last as long as Jingle All the Way came out, which came out 2 weeks later, and it was already gone by this point. And Jingle All the Way is the much more fun film, but this is about as bad as it gets. I mean, does this really look like something that needs to be put on a big screen? I don't think so, and do I even really need to say what's really bad about it? I mean, you see it right there. You know it's a bad movie right from the get-go. I mean, it's a dumb concept. The trailer alone, I think, pretty much tells you how bad it is, just from the fact that it has a narrator you're used to seeing on direct-to-video movies. I mean, like, they're not going to get somebody like Don LaFontaine or Percy Rodriguez or some of the great movie trailer announcers to try to sell you this movie. No. This is a film that clearly was intended to go straight to video, and then some idiot at the studio said, we think we can make this a theatrical hit too. Let's go ahead and take this and put this on the big screen. And yeah, the end result was a film that only made $220,000 during its 2-week run. So, yeah, needless to say, what more do I even need to say about this movie? I mean, it's a terrible movie. It's not funny. It's not clever. It's not even enjoyable. It's not even a so bad it's good type of movie. It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie that I'm almost about to throw up in my mouth a little bit. But, like I said, it's a bad movie overall. Like, really, do I even need to say any more about this? Yeah, it's a terrible movie. So let's go ahead and go to the last movie here. We'll try to end this on a more positive note, and I think we will with The Secret Agent.
Will you help me?
Jim Broadbent.
Only one of them was killed.
How do you know?
Bits and pieces only added up to one body.
Gerard Depardieu.
Let's get out of here.
In a city of spies, everyone is suspect.
Isn't there somewhere you can hide me?
No one is innocent.
You're just as responsible as I am.
And only one man holds the secret that can protect her.
And we are saved.
From The Secret Agent.
So this is based off of the novel by Joseph Conrad. You see the cast in there. Bob Hoskins, Patricia Arquette, Gerard Depardieu, Jim Broadbent, also Eddie Izzard's in here, Christian Bale. Robin Williams has an uncredited cameo in here as well. I've never read the book this is based off of, but there's been a couple of adaptations of this. There's one, the one that's most notable is the 1936 film Sabotage, and there's been 2 BBC miniseries in 1992 and 2016 based off of the story. And this version I don't think gets a whole lot of attention, but it is an overall enjoyable film. I watched it one night a couple of months ago, getting ready for this, and I thought it was actually kind of good. I was really hooked in by the cast overall. I thought they did a very good job here. It is a very formulaic telling of the story from the other versions that I've seen, the miniseries, and I don't think it does anything too spectacular or anything too unique, but I think the performances in particular in this one really do stick out the best in here. I think they really do fit these characters in here very well from the other versions that I've seen. I thought it was alright for what it is. It's not one I'd really rush back to anytime soon, but for a one-time watch, it wasn't too bad. So that's Joseph Conrad's The Secret Agent. So with that said, that wraps up another edition of Time About the Movies. Next time we meet, we go to November 15th. Some big movies on that day. Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny and Space Jam. Barbra Streisand and Jeff Bridges and The Mirror Has Two Faces. The year's Oscar winner for Best Picture, The English Patient. And also Blue Juice. So we'll have 4 movies to look at next time around. It should be a pretty good show. But until then, thank you very much for watching. And if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page. Check out the previous episode. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. And until then, as always, take care.